This is Optimal Finance Daily, episode 2384, The True Cost of a Speeding Ticket by Ramit Sethi of IWillTeachYouToBeRich.com. And I'm your host and personal finance enthusiast, Diana Merriam. Thank you so much for joining today and every day. This is the podcast that brings you some of the world's best content covering personal finance, 7 days a week, including holidays. And now let's jump into another post and start optimizing your life. The True Cost of a Speeding Ticket by Ramit Sethi of IWillTeachYouToBeRich.com. Thousands of motorists view speed limits as more of a suggestion and not an actual law. But driving just a few miles over can lead to a loss of money, driving privileges, and even human life. In 2018, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration reported 9,378 driver fatalities due to speeding-related accidents. The act of speeding doesn't just carry with it the potential for catastrophe. Being pulled over for exceeding the speed limit carries hefty monetary fines, depending on the state, and will mean a substantial increase in your car insurance rates. The true cost of a speeding ticket goes beyond a monetary figure. Today, we'll consider the following factors before revving up your engine on the open road. The average cost of a speeding ticket, cost by state, cost by speed, cost of points to your license, other expensive traffic violations, and the biggest cost of all, the average cost of a speeding ticket. The average cost of a speeding ticket in the US is $150. Depending on how fast you're going and what state you're in, the average cost can vary quite a bit. 3 factors impact the cost of the ticket: the state you're in, how fast you're going, and points against your license. If you speed at all, you should expect to get a ticket sooner or later. An estimated 1 in 6 Americans get slapped with a speeding ticket every year, equating to about 41 million people ticketed each year. With such a huge variance in ticket costs, it's worth looking up the cost of a speeding ticket where you live. You'll want to be prepared ahead of time. Number 1, speeding ticket costs by state. There's a huge variance in costs between different states. Nevada can charge heavy-footed motorists close to $1,000, even for first-time speeders. I lived in Nevada for 2 years and had no idea that tickets were this expensive. Now I'm really glad that I never got pulled over while I was there, and I'll definitely avoid speeding the next time I drive through there. Alaska tickets are also pretty high, with an average speeding ticket fine of $300 for first-time offenders. On the other end of the spectrum, Oklahoma has a starting ticket fine of $20. One state gets you $20, the other gets you $1,000. International tickets can get even more extreme. The unverified world record for the most expensive speeding ticket ever didn't happen on US soil. In 2010, a 37-year-old man in a brand new Mercedes-Benz SLR hit 186 miles per hour on a highway in Switzerland. His hefty fine in euros converts to just under $1 million. Number 2, speeding ticket costs by speed. The second major factor in the cost of your ticket will be the speed you're going. Lower speed equals a smaller fine. Higher speeds give bigger fines. Take Colorado, for example. Here's the different ticket costs at different speeds. 1 to 4 miles per hour, $36. 5 to 9, $80. 10 to 19 miles per hour, $151. 20 to 24 miles per hour, $232. And 25 miles per hour or more is 100 to 300 and 10 to 90 days of jail time. The higher the speed, the heftier the fees get. It's safe to assume that a speeding ticket will cost you about $100 to $200, assuming you're not speeding at an extreme level. Then I'd check the cost of your state in case they happen to be much higher or lower. Number 3, the cost of points on your license. Driving over the limit doesn't just ding your wallet. Speeding tickets deduct valuable points off your driving record. Rack up too many points and you could lose your license for a significant chunk of time and get hit with even higher fines. For instance, driving 5 to 10 miles per hour over the limit usually results in a deduction of 2 points in most states. A speeding violation of over 15 miles per hour could be worth 3 points. These points have the potential of staying on a driving record for up to 10 years, depending on the state. Even if you're not worried about the cost of an individual ticket, definitely look into the number of points that your state allows before serious penalties kick in. And if you're close to the point limit, I'd follow the speed limit exactly until some of the points fall off your record. Number 4, other expensive traffic violations. Racking up speeding tickets is a surefire way to make money peel rubber out of your checking account, but other moving violations are just as costly. Across the nation, one type of ticket stands out: the DUI. DUI fines are no joke. You usually lose your license and could even get jail time. While there's some variance between states, they all have substantial penalties. Arizona, for example, will suspend a license for a year if found guilty of driving intoxicated or under the influence of drugs. Take a moment and think about the real cost of losing your license. Would you lose your job? Could you support your family? If you depend on your car in your day-to-day, losing a license could result in substantial costs. Use an Uber or Lyft, get a regular taxi, walk home, whatever it takes. Just don't drive after having any drinks. Not only is it incredibly dangerous to yourself and everyone around you, a DUI will impact your finances severely. Reckless driving is another motor vehicle infraction that carries hefty monetary penalties. It's defined as a mental state in which the driver displays a wanton disregard for the rules of the road. The driver misjudges common driving procedures, often causing wrecks, accidents, and other damages. Reckless driving charges can easily be tacked onto the standard speeding ticket depending on the driving conditions, and often carry at least 1 day in jail on the first offense. According to WalletHub, the average reckless driving ticket is $845. Oregon tops the list at approximately $6,250 for the first offense. Kentucky, Mississippi, and New Mexico are among the lowest penalties for reckless driving at around $100 in each state. A recent addition to the list of expensive violations is distracted driving. Texting while driving now carries sizable fines and will also result in an insurance increase. Driving without a valid license and running a red light may seem like a harmless infraction, but both violations carry significant fines. And number 5, the real cost, car insurance rate increases. The true cost of a speeding ticket is often felt long after paying the initial fine and any court fees. Just one speeding ticket could cause insurance rates to skyrocket, especially for drivers under 25 years old. While every insurance company adheres to specific procedures for dealing with speeding violations, being pulled over and ticketed for speeding means a driver is a higher risk for insurance companies. A traffic violation means a higher possibility for future violations. To compensate for that extra risk, they'll raise your premiums. A handful of insurance companies will forgive first-time offenses, and some won't increase rates so long as the motorist isn't guilty of driving more than 15 miles over the posted speed limit. For example, a speeding ticket between 1 and 15 miles per hour in New Jersey, with a yearly insurance premium of $1,700, calculates out to an additional $289 per year. Once again, price increases vary depending on the state, but other factors an insurance company will consider before charging the new rate include how fast a person was traveling and previous violations. I'd expect your annual premium to go up by a few $100s if you get a speeding ticket. If your driving record is littered with speeding tickets affecting your premium and purse, the insurance company Allstate suggests shopping around for a company with lower rates or enrolling in defensive driving courses. And if you really want to get your costs back down, avoid speeding and wait for your previous tickets to fall off your record. The total cost. Extensive fines, higher insurance rates, loss of license, jail time, and even death are all possible from speeding. On average, expect to pay $100 to $200 for the ticket fine and another couple $100s in insurance premiums. Some states and insurance companies will charge you less, some will charge you more. Check to see how your state ranks to get a more accurate estimate. And watch those points on your license. Once they add up, the penalties become much more severe. You just listened to the post titled, "The True Cost of a Speeding Ticket." by Ramit Sethi of IWillTeachYouToBeRich.com. There are certainly monetary consequences to unsafe driving, but frankly, I'm not sure that's enough to deter anyone. It's very similar to smoking cigarettes, in my opinion. If the monetary and health consequences were convincing, no one would smoke. We have cultural influences that convince us on a subconscious level that smoking is quote unquote cool, just like driving fast is cool. Also, especially when we're young, we feel immortal, like we're above the worst consequences. I know I felt that way. Truth be told, I got a DUI when I was 20 years old. I wasn't even old enough to drink. I lost my license for 9 months and paid the lawyer fees and fines out of my own pocket. My mom didn't help bail me out, and I never asked her to. At the time, it felt like the worst thing that ever happened to me. But looking back on it now, I think it was the best thing that ever happened to me. Losing my license helped me feel less reliant on my vehicle and gave me a taste of my own resourcefulness and creativity. I found work that didn't require me to travel far, I used public transportation, and I sweet-talked my friends into driving me around. But the best thing I got out of it is that I learned that I'm not invincible and that I'm incredibly lucky that I didn't hurt myself or anyone else. I also learned to not take my assets and my mobility for granted. In the grand scheme of things, I experienced a minor inconvenience. It could have been so much worse if I didn't get pulled over that night. And that concludes another installment of Optimal Finance Daily. Thanks as always for joining. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you again tomorrow where your optimal life awaits.